Hello, I'm Emily.
And I'm Mark.
And we're Nightclub, and you're watching The Offering.
So you're currently touring across North America. This is a massive tour. How is it so far?
It's great.
It's great.
It's been awesome. We're probably like 2 weeks in now.
Yeah.
And
We have a month to go.
yeah, but it's been great. It's Combi are the best. They're super awesome. The bands are all great. We all get along so far.
So far. But there's
So-
a month to go, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it'll be great. It'll be great.
And since you're doing all this traveling, what do you listen to while driving around?
We don't really listen to anything. We
Yeah.
watch like
Silence.
TV. Well, because everyone's kind of sleeping.
Yeah.
So everyone
We're
kinda sleeps
always
most of the
sleeping
day.
or sound checking or loading or performing or leaving. So
Yeah.
there's not really time to listen to this much because we're not driving per se. We're not the ones driving the bus, you know. So
Right.
we're not listening to anything. If I hear anything, it's somebody else playing something around me.
And you've done some other tours in the past, so what do you like most about being on the road?
Being away from LA.
Yeah, definitely. I love being away from LA.
I don't know. It's just, it's never boring. There's always something to do every day. You always have something, a task to complete. You have a show to do, people to meet. It's never boring. There's always stuff going on, always stimulating, as
And
opposed to just being in one city for,
And if you do get bored, you're gone soon
Right,
into another place.
exactly.
And for people who don't really know you yet, tell us a bit about the background of the band.
The band has been around about 6 years now, and we started writing songs together and it kind of evolved into a band. But we've been touring pretty much for about 4 years or more. But in the last year, it's become much more extensive touring, bigger, longer tours as opposed to these kind of little 1 week jaunts and stuff like that. And as far as the music, we've put out 3 EPs, did a soundtrack for Moonbeam City, which is a TV show, and our second album, full-length album, is coming out on August 24th.
Yeah, and you actually just released when the tour started the single Candy Coated Suicide.
Yes.
What made you choose this song to represent the album right now?
Oh God! I mean, it was definitely a very visual song. Like we kind of knew what we wanted the music video to be pretty immediately. So we thought it kind of sounded like the most obvious single.
Yeah, I think, and also out of a practical part of it, like when you're making an album, you've got like 5 or 6 that are developed before the other 5 or 6, and that was one of the batch of the first 5 that we were like, oh, that we really like that song, and then since we had to turn it in much earlier than this tour, we had to be finished with that like a couple months before this tour even started. So the rest of the record got finished up until the days that we basically left for a tour. We were finishing our album and our video.
And is there a particular lyrical concept for this song?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of... I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the record that's about kind of anxiety and disorders of sorts, of the stuff that we've both kind of dealt with, depression, anxiety. My own family like dealt with schizophrenia. There's been a lot of like things about mental illness in this record, and that's sort of kind of a theme that's come through the record. But then at the same time, a very pop candy element to it. So, and that's always kind of been our band, is a juxtaposition of these like fun pop things, like a pink album cover, pink logo, like
With like a violent image.
with a violent dark underbelly, kind of like what life is, really. It's just the lightness, the darkness, everything combined.
And the title is Scary World of the upcoming album, August 24, will be released. What is scary for you?
The world.
The world, I mean, the album is about 2 things, really.
Yeah.
The world inside, scared of yourself, anxiety, disorders, things that you deal with, and trying to overcome struggles with your own mental deficiencies. And then I think the world in itself is really scary right now. The physical world. So I think it's both those things.
And when you started writing this album, did you have a precise idea of how you wanted it to sound?
Not really. I think it's just kind of our sound just kind of keeps evolving. You know, it's sort of...
Yeah, we don't set out to... I don't think we really set out to convey a specific sound.
I don't even think we do lyrically. I think we just... we write music, and it's what pours out of us is what it is. It's not a... There's no big intention when it starts. It's just we start to realize that there's... When we've written a bunch of songs that, you know what, this record's about this.
Right.
Because we keep writing about this.
We kind of figure it out later. And we're like, oh wait, this
It's
is what
sort of like a blank canvas and you start painting and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I painted that? Whoa, what's that about? Why am I painting that?
It's a little stream of consciousness.
Yeah,
and then you kind of, and then it links together at some point. And we're
Yeah,
like,
it seems to always do that.
Yeah.
Are you playing new songs on this tour?
3 new ones. Yeah. Yeah. So it's been cool
We
to
know
see.
the titles.
Oh, the Candy Coated Suicide, the first single, Blood on Your Blade, and Your Addiction, which is probably the next single.
And as a new band, what is the most challenging thing?
Getting people to pay attention,
Yeah, to listen, to
having
watch.
people even care. You know, there's a lot of bands, there's a lot of static, there's a lot of... It's you know, so we don't take it lightly when somebody buys our record or comes to see us, because there's a lot of other things they could go check out. And so, yeah, I think that's the hardest thing for a new band is to get through the clutter.
And what do you think of the music industry?
Stupid.
I mean, I used to work in it, so I can't really say anything about it. But
I love music. I love bands. I love touring. I don't think the music business is dead. I think it's actually thriving. I think it's great. I think a lot of middlemen have got cut out that have nothing to do with music.
And at this point, what are your expectations for the future of the band?
just keep doing what we're doing,
Yeah,
really.
keep being inspired. Keep
Yeah.
trying to be better. And
Pushing ourselves lyrically, musically, which I
we're-
think we did with this record.
Yeah,
I think we really pushed it lyrically.
I'm really proud of what we did on this record because I think we took it to another level.
It's a very personal record, so I think it's kind of just, tapping into ourselves more and really getting that out. And I think we did that this record pretty well.
So do you think you'll continue as a duo or eventually get other people
We love
involved?
doing it as a duo. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's easy. It's just us two.
You get
like,
along
We
We get along, and
yeah.
it just
easier.
yeah. There's no one else that you have to consider or deal with, and so many bands basically splinter because of that. There'll be like one guy that's like, I don't want to tour anymore, band over. I want to do ballads, band over. Like there's so many ways for it to splinter. So when it's two people, I think
We're usually on the same page about most things.
yeah,
work
and
really
it's a
well together.
true democracy of that.
That
we're both-
said, we're not
both like it.
opposed to adding live musicians if it makes sense. It has to make sense.
Yeah.
Monetarily, whatever show it just has to make sense. But we're not opposed to it. But at the core, it'll always be us.
Yeah, us as the songwriters and us
Yeah.
as the band.
And what about having like guest musicians or singers?
We have a kids choir on this record.
Yeah, we hired a kids choir to sing the first song on the record, and it turned out great. So
Yeah.
that's the first time anyone's been on one of
Yeah.
our records, I think, besides us.
Yeah. Again, not opposed to it. It just has to make sense, and But I really do love doing everything ourselves.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's more personal, it's more efficient. There's less arguments. It's just I don't know. It's an enjoyable process to make some art.
Yeah.
Do you have other touring plans after this one?
We're in discussion for a couple fall things, and we're still trying to figure that out a little bit. But it's looking like we're going to do something in the fall. Hopefully another U.S. thing.
And we got 4
Crossing
more
my
weeks on
fingers.
this tour, and then 3 weeks in Europe with Combichrist on Wednesday 13th. So we still got quite a bit to go.
Yeah. And then doing like a release show in LA, like the day after the album comes out at Far Sinister. It's not announced yet, but
Yeah.
it just did, I guess.
You just
But
exclusive announcement.
Yeah, exactly. But so just an album release party, probably, you know, fall tour and something.
Okay, then
Yeah.
thank you for the interview and good luck with everything, all your plans.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
And
you very much.
thanks for coming and doing this.
Sunglasses Club.
Yeah, sunglasses.